Hello and good morning. Remember a couple of things. Number one, your homework for this week is due again from Friday to Monday. Make sure you turn that in. And also, I'm going to open up test number one, and I'm going to leave that open just for the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I guess I'll do Monday as well. So if you want to retest, you're only going to get one shot at it. Go ahead and retest. If you do better, see me and I'll verify it. If you did not do better or you didn't take it, don't see me. Okay? The only way it's going to be recorded is if you come see me. All right, so let's take a look here. The principal is 200,000. The rate is 6%. And you're doing 15 years. Right here. All of that is divided by. Get your calculator out because we're going to work this together. Now, if you can feed all of this into your calculator at one time, it's better. All right, so copy that down if you did not already do so. All right, I'm going to get my calculator. 200,000 times. Take 0.06 divided by 12. I get 0.005. Now, take 0.005 plus 1. Press equals. Raise that to the 180th power. So press whatever key that's going to raise it to the 180th power. Press equals. Now, if you cut this number short, you're not going to get the exact answer. So I'm going to put the whole thing down, especially if it's a test. And right here, on this part, this is exactly the same thing as that. So rewrite it. Minus 1. Okay? So since I already have this in my calculator, I'm going to do minus 1. If I do minus 1 on the calculator, it's going to be 1.4. Okay, up top, I got all this in my calculator already. Times 0.005 times 200,000. Make sure your numbers are right, and you get this. Divided by all of this. Your monthly payment should be $1,687.72. They're going to round it up. Make sure you understood what I did because you're going to be tested on that. All right, let's go to page 421, example 1. Okay, so take a look at what they're doing here. They want to borrow 600,000 at 15%. They have to have 90,000 in the bank account or they can't buy this house. You take how much the house is selling for minus your down payment. That's how much you're going to borrow. Now, you take how much you're going to borrow times 0.0 375, which gives you this amount. Okay, that gives you your annual APR. You're going to take that amount and divide by 360 days, 365 days. This is how much interest you pay each day for this mortgage. $50 a day. Now they're closing, if you look up here, they're closing on September 6th. September has 30 days. So 30 minus 6 makes 24. So you got to pay the interest in something called arrears for that month that you live in the house. For these 24 days that you live in the house, you got to pay the interest. So you got to multiply by 24. You got to pay that much in arrears for the interest. Now, when you buy a house, you want to close at the end of the month. So close at the end of the month. So close on the 1st or the beginning of the month, the 1st. Okay? If you close on the 15th, then you got to pay arrears. How much interest? And this is how they figure out the interest. They take how much you going to borrow times the interest rate. They divide by 365, and that's how much interest you pay per day. And for that first month, you got to pay that much interest. And that's called arrears. Use your book when you work these. Let's go here. They tell you that closing costs are anywhere from 2% to 6%. So you take 600,000 times 2% and 6%. So you have to have about 36,000 or as little as 12,000. Closing costs is dictated by the title company. All right, let's look at example 3. Now let's see what's going on here. It says you got to figure out your monthly payment, just like we did on the example today on the bell work. There's your monthly payment. Okay, there's the monthly payment. To figure out the amount of interest, you're going to use this formula here. You're going to take the principal times the rate divided by 1,200. Okay, and that's going to give you this. So the first monthly interest is that amount. Now, turn the page. Let me show you something. When you make your first payment right here, when you buy your house and you make your first payment, if you can pay another one of these, all right, you see how you have, let me look at it carefully. Hang on 1 second. Okay, so this is the amount of interest you're paying out of this. This is how much goes towards principal. If you can pay this amount extra, which is it's kind of hard because it's a lot of money, you would save $1,000. Okay, now this one says extra payment of $100. So it looks like they're making extra payments here. Okay, and we'll talk about that later. For today, I want you to do 1 through 7. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about college algebra. Okay, so work number 1. To work number 1, I would get y by itself. So I'm going to get y equals 5x minus 2. I'm going to take all of this and substitute it in place of that y. So I'm going to get negative 3x plus 6 times the substitute equals negative 12. So I'm going to get negative 3x plus 30x minus 12 is equal to negative 12. I'm going to move the 12 over here. That's going to become a plus 12. That's going to give me 0. This is going to give me 27x. When I divide by 27, I get x equals 0. And if I put a 0 here, 5 times 0 is 0, and 0 minus 2 is a negative 2. Okay, there it is. Now what I want you to do is solve this equation for x. So put negative 2x plus 6y equals 6. Copy that down. Now I want you to get x by itself, and the reason why is because when you divide by 2, it's going to reduce out. So that's your best choice. If you solve for y, you're going to have a fraction. See, 2 goes into 6's. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 6y and divide by negative 2. If you do it and you get fractions, you might want to try to pick a different one. There it is. And once you get that, you would have to substitute. Okay, flip your sheet over, your worksheet from yesterday, get it out, copy this down. All right, so this is the one that we're doing right here, where I solved for x. So finish that equation up. So now that I have it solved for x, I'm going to substitute right here. So it's going to be negative 7 times 3y. The back side is harder, okay? Just want to let you know. If you get stuck, ask for help. So you're going to distribute, get like terms, and solve it. Today's work is the back. And one thing, when you turn your homework in, make sure you turn in both sides of the worksheet. If you fail to turn in both sides, I will not give you credit. All right, have a good morning. I'll see you guys in class.